Good morning. So I just wanted to record a quick video to go over the updates that SBA just made to the PPP loan. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Now, the information in this final guidance is a little contradictory in the sense that it contradicts the initial information that was in the initial bill. So as I've mentioned many times, that the way it works usually is once the interpretation of a legal bill is underway, there are details that get developed and kinks are worked out. So this is one of them. So it's not surprising that this happened, but to me what was surprising was that the independent contractors were removed from the payroll cost calculation. So it does make it easier for you to calculate, but the amount will be lower, obviously. Okay, now you can read through it. I'll post it in the in the resources on my page as well. And the period didn't change, so we're looking back at 12 months, even though in all of the bank communication that I've seen, they're talking about payroll records, payroll reports and stuff. So I don't know how they're gonna figure out the last 12 months from payroll reports if you haven't filed. Let's say if you filed for the past quarter, but the period of 12 months that's starting let's say in April, like today is April. So what if your payroll was run today and you want to count that payroll from today into the calculation? So I'm not sure how the banks are going to handle it. I'm sure they don't know either. I mean, supposedly one bank is releasing the application today. Everybody else is kind of like, we'll see what we can do. But anyway, so remember the same limit, 100,000. There is an explanation for payroll costs that I'm going to cover in a second, but I want to make sure that you understand. If you get the 10,000 from the SBA loan, the emergency, injury disaster loan, the 10,000 advance, that amount is subtracted from your forgiveness. So even if you don't get the SBA loan later, the 10,000 you don't have to pay back to the SBA, but it will reduce the amount of forgiveness that you're eligible for under the PPP loan. Okay, there is a calculation, so it's page 9 and 10 that you can take a look, which is awesome. It's fairly easy to follow. And now here in the guidance, it says that payroll costs do include wages, commissions, and then it says for independent contractor, sole proprietor, and then look at this. It says independent contractors have the ability to apply for PPP loan on their own, so they don't count for the purposes of a borrower's PPP loan calculation. So it's a little contradictory to me, but there is a direct answer, so I would go by this. Now, another thing that I didn't like was this option here. It talks about employers share FICA. That I understand. FICA is the Social Security and Medicare. Now, it says income tax is required to be withheld from employees. So to me, this means that it's supposedly net pay, but it doesn't make any sense because that all depends on the employee's withholding table. So I don't know what to do about it. The bank may or may not change the amount of payroll based on your reports. Let's see how that plays out, but I just want you to be aware of this. And a couple of more things. The language here is fairly straightforward, but it's a pretty long document, 31 pages. So once you get the loan, no more than 25% of the loan forgiveness amount may be attributable to non-payroll costs. So it's really paycheck protection loan. So your rent, utilities combined cannot be more than 25% of the forgiveness amount that you're applying for. Okay. All right. see again here it's reiterated that independent contractors have the ability to apply on their own. So basically, and then there is another thing for the independent contractors that I'll come back to in a second. So page 15, 1.5, has the PPP loan proceeds, what they can be used for, and you can look at it here. The interest payments and debt obligations. So if you're a business that had some debt before February 15th, so let's say you've had a loan, you can deduct the interest and looks like principal as well, and have that amount forgiven. Now, there was another point that I wanted to make. Okay, so loan forgiveness, so the banks will kind of establish the rules in terms of the paperwork that you will need to submit. Right now they're speculating, they're saying it's going to be payroll reports for 2019, but it doesn't make a lot of sense because we're looking back from April 3rd, 12 months back, so it doesn't make that much sense. So we'll see how they will play this today or hopefully maybe over the weekend. You cannot receive 2 loans under PPP program. And I do encourage you to apply for the PPP loan on your own. And the reason is that it's asking a lot of the information questions about whether or not you had any criminal convictions, you've borrowed and defaulted on a loan. And if someone else is applying for that for you, they will have to ask you these questions and it will make their job a lot harder. So the only number in the application for the SBA is the payroll cost, and that's something you can request help with. But other than that, I would strongly recommend that you apply on your own. And an important point that I wanted to make about the independent contractors and other folks who are applying for this program is that you have to count your net income. So it's income after expenses. That reduces the amount of loan that you can get, but you still get something and you can get it forgiven basically. It's free money for you. So I encourage you to do that. All right, I hope this was helpful. I will post as much as possible as the information becomes available. So I will talk to you later.